Take a slow, deep breath in, and let it fall away gently. Feel your body begin to unwind, like old parchment slowly unrolling on a wooden desk. Let the air settle softly around you, cool, still ancient, like the hush inside an abbey before dawn. You are safe here. You are calm here. You are home in this quiet moment. Now, our story tonight begins at the edge of an old monastery, where candlelight flickers against cold stone, and the air smells faintly of wax and ink. It is the hour before sunrise, when even the bells rest. Beyond the cloister, through an arch of ivy, lies a heavy oak door bound in iron. At its base, curled like a question mark, rests a tabby cat. Her fur catches the dim amber glow from a lantern, swinging gently in the hall. She blinks, slowly, patiently, the way creatures of quiet places do. The monks call her Muriel. To them, she is more than a cat. She is the guardian of parchment and ink. Inside, the scriptorium hums with a deep, reverent silence. A long hall of wooden desks, each one laid with quills, ink, and sheets of vellum so pale they almost glow in the soft light. Monks sit bent over their work, the scratch of their quills the only sound, a soft, steady rhythm, like rain falling far away on a thatched roof. And outside the door, Muriel listens. Her ears twitch to the pattern of pen strokes. Her tail sways in tiny arcs, matching the cadence of breath and prayer that fills the sacred space. In the Middle Ages, cats, like Muriel, were cherished protectors. They guarded precious manuscripts from the tiny teeth of mice and rats, keeping centuries of knowledge safe one patient heartbeat at a time. Sometimes, when the ink dried too slowly, a cat's soft paw print would find its way into a holy text, a quiet, eternal signature left by a silent guardian, a small, furry blessing embedded forever in the pages of history. The night deepens, and the abbey grows even stiller. The wind sighs through the narrow arched windows, carrying the scent of lavender and rosemary from the cloister garden. A candle gutters, its flame dancing one last time. Wax drips, hardening on the cold stone floor. And then, a new sound begins. A purr, low, and even Muriel's purr fills the space between sound and silence. It hums through the wood of the door, through the floorboards, through the monk's simple leather sandals, and through the slow, deliberate turning of pages. The rhythm of that purr is ancient, older than ink, older than sleep itself. It is a sound of pure contentment, a vibration of peace that settles over everything. Now, take another breath, in and out. Let your breath find the same rhythm as Muriel's, purr, slow, warm, and deep. The more you breathe, the lighter you feel. The lighter you feel, the deeper you drift into comfort. Imagine the cat's fur beneath your fingertips, silky and faintly warm from a distant hearth. The sound of her quiet breathing close to your ear. Feel the world outside fading until only the quiet heart of the abbey remains. You can almost hear the monks whispering a prayer of thanks for the ink that flows, for the parchment that holds their words, and for the small, furry guardian that never leaves her post. A single bell chimes once, soft and far away. It marks not time, but a moment of profound peace. Inside the scriptorium, the quills still. The fire in the great hearth dims to glowing embers, and Muriel stretches, arching her back gracefully in the fading candlelight. With the door now ajar, she pads through, her steps as silent as breath itself. The floor beneath her paws creaks gently, centuries wood singing its sleepy, creaking lullaby. She walks between the rows of desks, her tail brushing against the edges of parchment, a silent blessing on the day's work. She pauses beside a young monk who has fallen asleep midline, his head resting on his arm. The ink on his page gleams wetly in the gloom. A sentence half finished, a thought halfway to heaven. Muriel's eyes soften with a deep, knowing calm. She curls beside his heavy woolen robe, pressing against the warmth of his folded arm, and begins to purr again, a gentle lullaby for the weary scholar. The air thickens with comfort, a soothing blend of old ink, warm candle wax, and the comforting scent of cedar from the towering shelves. The night itself seems to hum like a hymn, a sacred song of rest. In this small, sacred stillness, You can feel time stop, stretching into a peaceful eternity. Every sound grows slower, quieter, fainter, until there is nothing left but the gentle breath of a cat and the peaceful, steady rise and fall of your own chest. Breathe in and breathe out. You are here, safe, resting, dreaming beside the cat at the scriptorium door. Sleep well. Breathe in and out again. Let the stillness linger in your chest, warm as candlelight, slow as honey. The night outside the Abbey begins to thin, the black sky softens into a gentle silver gray, and the first threads of dawn pull softly through the window glass. Inside the scriptorium, the great writing room, nothing stirs just yet. The monks sleep where they worked late into the night, their heads resting on folded arms, perhaps with dreams written between the lines of their unfinished manuscripts. But not everyone is asleep. Only Muriel is awake. She rises quietly from her slumber, stretching long and graceful, her back arching into the pale, emerging light. The cool morning air kisses her whiskers. Her poststeps are so soft, they sound like the delicate brushing of parchment on a wooden desk. Each step she takes is deliberate, measured, and completely silent, as though she herself were writing a silent poem upon the floor. She pauses beside the ink table, where a small, accidental spill has pooled in the corner. Her reflection shimmers in the dark liquid, a soft ghost of fur and moonlight. For a long moment, she watches herself, her ears twitching slightly, as if recognizing her own profound place in the Abbey's long and storied history. Because she is a part of it now, a quiet, constant witness to centuries of written words and whispered prayers, of births and passings, of fierce storms and gentle seasons. Even the ancient walls of this place remember her kind. You can almost see the history etched into the very fabric of the Abbey, the faint paw prints pressed into the margins of old ledgers, the legends whispered by generations of scribes. They spoke of the cat who kept the mice from chewing through sacred scripture, the cat who sat faithfully beside the psalter as it was being illuminated, the cat who never ever left the monks to face their long hours of silence alone. Muriel now walks with purpose toward the open door. Outside, the dawn is dripping slowly down the weathered stone steps, turning the delicate frost on the garden herbs into tiny, glistening sparks of light. The air is filled with the gentle perfumes of lavender, sage, and mint, cool, calming, and restorative. The wind moves through the climbing vines on the wall, and it hums a faint, ancient melody, as if the earth itself is taking a deep, contented exhale. She steps into that fresh morning air, blinking softly, her long tail curling like a question mark against the brightening sky. High above, the bell tower begins to stir. A single, resonant note falls through the air, low, deep, and powerful, like the very heart of the world, waking up from a long, peaceful sleep. Inspired by the sound, the monks begin to rise. One by one, they shuffle into the central courtyard, their simple robes whispering against the ground, their sandals brushing against the cool stone. They greet Muriel, not with grand gestures, but with small, knowing smiles and bowed heads. One old monk, Brother Cedric, his face a map of kindness, bends down slowly. He gently scratches behind her ear and whispers, "Peace be with you, little keeper of the word." She blinks slowly in response, her purr rising from deep within her chest. It's a steady, comforting sound, as steady as the bell, as steady as your own breath. Take a deep inhale with her now. Feel your chest rise, and then gently fall, letting your breath fall into that same peaceful rhythm. The monks form a small, familiar circle by the garden gate. Their voices rise in unison, low and perfectly harmonic, a beautiful dawn chant that spills gently into the morning air. The sound of their prayer mingles with the cat's soft purr, creating a seamless hum of life and stillness, perfectly entwined. Muriel sits at their feet, her eyes half closed, her tail tucked neatly around her paws. The sacred sound wraps around her, around the monks, and it wraps around you. It is a sound of profound continuity, of one day folding gracefully into the next, of old souls resting in peace, of finding gentle purpose in all the small, quiet acts of life. The chant eventually fades, The great bell stills, and for a single, suspended heartbeat, the whole Abbey breathes as one. Muriel lifts her head. She looks out toward the horizon, where a brilliant, liquid gold now spills over the distant trees. She blinks once, slowly, absorbing the new day. Then she turns and begins padding back toward the scriptorium door. The warmth from the hearth, tended all night, still lingers within the room, faint and comforting. The familiar, beloved smell of ink and old parchment welcomes her home. And soon, the faint, rhythmic scratch of a quill on paper begins once again. Work resumes, life resumes, peace resumes. She curls up once more by the threshold, in that special place between inside and out, between the world of words and the world of silence, between waking and sleep. You may join her now in this place of peace. Close your eyes, feel that same quiet, comforting stillness cradle you. The cat purrs softly, a steady, rhythmic, timeless sound. Let each breath you take melt into that sound, until you can no longer tell where her purr ends and your own heartbeat begins. Allow the image of the Abbey to fade into a gentle dreamlight, the soft stone dissolving into mist, the distant voices dissolving into the wind. All that remains now is warmth and peace and the invitation to sleep. You are safe here, resting beside the cat at the scriptorium door. Rest now, let go of all your thoughts, drift deeper into comfort, and dream. You are still here, but the world around you has softened. The Abbey remains, but it shimmers faintly now, as though seen through the haze of a candle's last sigh. The air glows a faint gold, and the sound of Muriel's purr folds into your breathing so completely that it feels like your own soul humming in rhythm. Take a deep breath in, and slowly out. Again, with each breath, you drift a little deeper, as if walking down a spiral staircase made of moonlight. Every step takes you closer to that quiet space between waking and dream, the same space where the cat lives, where ink becomes prayer, and silence becomes music. In this dreamlight, the scriptorium changes. The walls open, the ceiling melts into the sky, and parchment pages begin to float, softly, like autumn leaves in a windless wood. Each page carries a word, each word glows faintly, and you realize that together, they form the breathing of the world. Muriel lifts her head. She sees them to those drifting pages and her eyes reflect their glow. She steps forward, slow and silent, each paw landing upon invisible paths of light. As she walks, the words follow her. Grace, stillness, home. They flutter around you like warm feathers, brushing your cheeks, tickling your thoughts. They whisper gentle stories without urgency, memories without sharp edges. You reach out, and one settles in your palm. It reads, "Rest." The ink is warm. It breathes. You feel it pulse with your heartbeat. Muriel glances back at you. Her gaze is slow, steady, an unspoken invitation to follow. So you do. You follow her along a winding corridor of light, past shadows of monks still writing in dream. Their quills move, but instead of ink, they draw lines of silver mist that rise into the air and become stars. You pass shelves of books that seem to breathe, their bindings expanding and contracting like sleeping chests. Each one hums faintly, their knowledge alive and kind. Muriel leads you onward, through arches of ivy and memory, into the cloister garden. The fountain at the center no longer flows with water, it flows with words. Tiny letters bubble and dance upon the surface, merging and parting like gentle waves. You lean closer and see reflections, not of your face, but of all those who ever dreamed in peace. The air here smells of old stone and morning dew. Birdsong ripples at the edge of your hearing, faint, delicate, as if sung from the heart of time itself. Muriel circles the fountain once, then sits at its edge. Her tail curls neatly around her paws, her eyes close, and then she begins to purr again. But this time, the sound is deeper, a vibration that touches the very air around you. It rolls through the garden, through the pages, through the stars that linger above. The purr becomes a chant, not sung, not spoken, but felt. It's the sound of continuity, the lullaby of all creatures who have ever known stillness. You close your eyes too, and listen. You hear whispers of wind in cloisters. You hear the gentle creak of wooden benches. You hear the faint drip of wax cooling on a desk. Each sound folds into the purr, melting into harmony. And beneath it all, you hear your own heart slow, calm, aligned. Now the cat's presence grows warmer, like sunlight pouring across your skin after a long winter. It isn't heat, it's safety, it's belonging. She moves closer, presses her head gently against your hand. You can feel her heart beat steady, patient, a living prayer beneath your fingers. You whisper a thank you, though your voice barely exists anymore. Just breath, just thought, and she blinks, once, as if she understands everything you didn't say. The world around you begins to dim, but it isn't fading, it's blending, softening, becoming something deeper. The stars drift down like flakes of parchment. They rest on your shoulders, on her fur, on the stones of the Abbey garden. And then, slowly, the cat begins to walk back toward the scriptorium door. Each step leaves behind a trail of faint, golden light, a path home. You follow once more, through quiet corridors, past sleeping monks, past candles burned to stubs. You find your place beside her, on the worn threshold, where the outside meets the inside, where wakefulness meets dream. She curls beside you, and together you listen to the gentle rhythm of the Abbey, the world's heartbeat slowed to peace. Take one last deep breath, in and out. Let the calm fill every corner of your being. The story is not ending. It is simply pausing, waiting for your dreams to continue it. And as you drift further into sleep, you might still hear that soft purr, steady, constant, infinite, guiding you through the quiet hours of the night. Sleep well. Breathe softly now. You are still in the Abbey, but something has shifted. The air feels lighter, brighter, as though the night itself has sighed in relief. The dream world slowly folds back into the morning. The faint gray before dawn has deepened into gold. Sunlight streams through the tall arched windows, casting warm ribbons across the stone floor. Dust motes dance like sleepy spirits, turning lazily in the air. Muriel stirs beside you. Her fur glows in the light amber, cream, honey, every color of warmth. She stretches, long and graceful, then sits upright, her ears tilted toward the distant sound of the bell. It tolls once, and then again, each note slow and round, filling the air like the heartbeat of a waking world. The monks begin to gather their robes, whispering, sandals sliding gently across the floor. Their faces are soft, peaceful, their eyes still heavy with dreamlight. Brother Cedric passes by the door and pauses when he sees Muriel. He smiles, and for a moment, it feels as if all time pauses with him. He kneels down, runs a careful hand along her back, and whispers, "Another night well kept, little one." She answers not with words, but with a long, slow lengthy kind that says, "I know." The Abbey fills with gentle movement, candles being trimmed, quills cleaned, scrolls rolled and stacked. The scent of bread and honey drifts from the kitchen. It's morning, but somehow, the peace of the night has not gone. Muriel rises and walks toward the open courtyard. You follow quietly, your steps soundless, weightless, like walking on sunlight. Outside, the herb garden shimmers with dew. Tiny droplets cling to lavender stems, each one a perfect bead of light. Bees hum softly nearby, beginning their patient work. You sit on the old stone bench beneath the arch. The air is cool, but kind. You breathe it in, and it fills you with clarity, like pages turning in a bright, empty book. Muriel jumps onto the bench beside you. She curls up neatly, and without a sound, presses her small head against your side. Her purr returns, faint now, but steady, a bridge between night and day. And in that moment, you understand why she is the guardian of parchment and ink. She guards more than the books. She guards the silence between the words. She guards the stillness between the breaths. She guards the gentle truth that peace is not something you must chase, it is something that sits quietly, waiting by the door. The sun climbs higher. Light touches the high towers, the golden cross, the weathered stones. Every detail glows soft, living, sacred. You breathe again, slowly, gratefully. The cat yawns, stretches, and settles once more. Her eyes close, Her tail curls, and she sleeps content, complete. You close your eyes too. The warmth of sunlight brushes your face. You feel the rhythm of her purr merge with your heart. You don't need to do anything. Just rest, just be. In this abbey of peace, there is no rush, no demand, no noise, only breath, only warmth, only stillness. And as the story drifts towards silence, you realize something tender: you have become part of this place. Your stillness joins theirs. Your calm joins the chant of the morning wind. Your heartbeat joins the purr of the cat. Everything connected, everything serene. So now, take one final, deep breath in, and as you exhale, let go completely. The cat remains by the scriptorium door. The monks begin their day. The abbey lives on. And you drift softly between worlds, held in the arms of peace. The story closes, not with an ending, but with a hush, a quiet promise that you can return here, whenever you wish, whenever you need calm. For somewhere, beyond the ticking of time, the cat still purrs by the scriptorium door. Thank you for sharing this quiet moment with me. If you found a moment of peace, I'd be grateful if you'd like and subscribe for more journeys into tranquility. May you carry this stillness with you. It's all quiet now. The bells have stilled. The monks have gone to their morning duties, and the abbey breathes in rhythm again, slow, serene, steady. You remain seated beneath the arch, the stones warm beneath you, the scent of herbs still floating in the gentle air. Each breath feels lighter than the one before, as if your chest has learned the rhythm of peace. Muriel dreams beside you. Her paws twitch softly, perhaps chasing some tiny, imagined thing. The sound of her purr lingers in the air, like music too slow to fade. It curls through the quiet spaces, through the columns and corridors, through the very bones of the abbey itself. You notice how the sunlight glows brighter now, yet it does not disturb the calm, it deepens it. You can see tiny motes of dust turning lazily in the beams, their golden spirals soft as sighs. You can almost hear the dust settling. Far away, a quill dips into ink, a new monk beginning his work for the day. The faint scratch of his pen is like a whisper, and you can sense how each stroke connects the moment you are in to all the moments before. The world, you realize, is built on small, sacred sounds: breath, scratch, purr, wind, silence. All of them, together, form a single chant, one that says, rest. Now, take a long breath in. Let the air fill every quiet corner inside you. And as you exhale, imagine the tension slipping out of your body, drifting away like a wisp of smoke. Your shoulders loosen, your face softens, your thoughts become slow, gentle things. Each one passes like a feather in water, barely touching, barely staying. The abbey walls fade again into dreamlight, the sounds blending until there is nothing to distinguish between them. Muriel's purr grows slower, deeper, until it is not sound anymore, but sensation. A warmth beneath your ribs, a rhythm beneath your thoughts. This is what rest truly feels like: the safety of ancient stone around you, the companionship of a quiet soul beside you, the knowledge that all is cared for, that all is complete. You do not have to think now. You do not have to remember. Just let yourself drift, gently, easily, as though carried by the same breeze that moves the ivy on the walls. If you listen closely, you might still hear the monks chanting in the distance, their voices blending into the hum of the world. Their hymn rises, but never breaks the silence. It only adds to it, a soft reminder that peace is not absence, but presence. The air cools slightly as the morning grows. A new candle is lit somewhere far away. The flame flickers, and its light touches the edges of your dream. Muriel shifts in her sleep, curling tighter, her tail wrapping neatly around her paws once more. Her purr fades to the softest hum, barely there, barely real. And now, you too may follow her into that final stillness, that endless, gentle space between breath and sleep. Let the sounds blur. Let the images soften. Let your body become light as parchment, your mind blank as vellum, ready for dreams to write their quiet stories upon you. You are safe. You are warm. You are home. Drift now. Drift, and drift deeper. until even the words disappear. Only warmth remains, only breath, only the steady, eternal purr of the cat at the scriptorium door. I hope this journey brought you a moment of deep peace. If you enjoyed this time of rest, please consider subscribing for more tranquil escapes. Thank you for listening. Sweet dreams.